my whole life flashed before my eyes. Hello friends, and welcome back to Rachel's Baking Corner. Today we will be making Pillsbury Halloween sugar cookie no-bake cheesecake. Let me dissect that a little bit. It's October, so happy Halloween. We are gonna do a little bit of a theme here with some pumpkin sugar cookies, and these are gonna act as the base for our cheesecake. This is a no-bake cheesecake, so there's no eggs or anything like that. It is more of a whip and set kind of cheesecake, which is way easier than a real cheesecake. And instead of a graham cracker crust, it's gonna be with these little Halloween sugar cookies. I found this recipe on Instagram. It looks so charming and cute, and I will be hosting a Halloween party here soon, and I figured I should try this out, see if my coworkers like it, and make it for the party or not. So without further ado, let's talk ingredients, tools, order of operations, and we will get baking and chilling because it's a no-bake cheesecake. Okay, let's do it. When it comes to ingredients, you're gonna need 2 packs of these Pillsbury
non-sponsored
sugar cookies. Obviously, you could do this any time of the year. You could do this when they do their little turkeys for Thanksgiving, little Christmas trees for Christmas. I believe they do something like this for any holiday because money, duh. You need 2 packages of these, and according to the recipe, some of these cookies will be set aside and baked for the topping as like a little decoration. I went ahead and purchased 3 packages just in case. And what's wrong with extra cookies? Once again, especially if you're hosting a party, just have them on the side, whatever. Next, we're gonna need 3 packages or 24 ounces of cream cheese room temperature, 1 1/4 cup of heavy whipping cream, 3 tablespoons of confectioner or powdered sugar, 3/4 of a cup of granulated sugar, 1/4 of a cup of sour cream, 1 1/2 teaspoon of freshly squeezed lemon juice, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. This is a vanilla bean paste. I just have it, so I like to use it. And I figured in a white-based recipe, it'll look really pretty to see the little flecks of vanilla bean. Then, of course, there is the ingredients for the whipped topping to go on top to frost the cheesecake. We have 2 cups of heavy whipping cream, I know, 1/4 cup of granulated sugar, and then another teaspoon of vanilla extract. Always, always. For this recipe, we are working with cream cheese and sour cream, which can be a little hefty to mix. So it's recommended that you use a mixer of some kind. I'll be using my KitchenAid hand mixer, but you also have a stand mixer you can use, or if the ingredients are room temperature enough with the cream cheese, you can get her done. It's just gonna be a little bit of a workout, you know? So I have a mixing bowl, I have my mixer, and then you need a 9-inch springform pan. So make sure that you get that, and measurements matter in this case. If you didn't know, a springform pan pops open so that after the cheesecake is done baking, it comes off clean, leaving a pretty little edge around the cheesecake. I also have my rubber spatula, my little whisk attachments, and a good attitude. So without further ado, we're gonna make this. I'm actually gonna talk about steps in just a second here, but let's get going on baking. Yay! First things first, you always want to get your pan prepared. You'll always see that as the first step in any recipe. Not necessary and not recommended in the recipe, but I did go ahead and cut a parchment piece to go on the bottom of my pan. I just, with the cookie, I don't know, I just figured it's a little extra safe, and I get nervous, okay? So we're gonna grease the pan. I'm just gonna use a little bit of coconut oil, mostly because the oil that I would usually use is really hard to open, and I'm here by myself, so I didn't feel like struggling. I have a little paper towel. I'm just gonna smear this around and liberally grease up my pan. Pan is prepped. So now what we're gonna do is get our cookies out. On the recipe on Instagram, I'm obviously going to link everything down below. This is so not my recipe nor my idea, even though this is a brilliant idea and I wish I would have thought of it. In the video, she makes it look so easy. So I'm like not even reading the recipe that closely because I'm like, I got this. How hard could this be? This would be really fun to do with some kiddos too, since it's not a lot of intense baking. Okay, so my cookies are a little soft. They're a little room temperature, so I'm going to be careful. You probably would want these chilled, like still solid, but that's the filming life. Everything takes forever. So all we need to do now is place the cookies in the pan, lined up all neat. Obviously, you don't mush them out. They're gonna settle as they bake and fill up all the holes, hopefully. Fingers crossed. I'm just gonna use my little rubber spatula. Oh, actually, they're pretty pliable. I just don't wanna damage them. Each cookie has a little bit of a straight edge on the top. I'm gonna just put that edge towards the side of the pan. I'll show you a close-up in a second here. All right, here we are. We've got our little pumpkins. I think I did a pretty good job spreading them out evenly. I did the outer circle first with the flat edge kind of up against the wall, and then did the next circle and was able to fit 3 in here. In the recipe, she says you can cut a few in half to fill out some of these spaces, but I wonder if that would make the pattern look a little weird. I almost feel like they will spread out evenly. This is what I have left over from the 2 packages. Let me ponder it a moment. Okay. I mean, the crust isn't even going to really be all that noticeable because it's at the bottom of the cake, but I forgot what these tasted like. They taste almost like nothing. They just taste like sugar and food coloring. Let's get this in the oven. 350 degrees and about 12 minutes or until golden brown and it's all even out. Let's do it. Let's get started on making the filling. So first things first, we are going to whip some cream until it's nice and fluffy, then set that aside. Then we're gonna whip together the cream cheese, the sour cream, the other ingredients till it's nice and fluffy and creamy and delicious. And then we're gonna slowly fold in the whipped cream to add some air and some fluff and delicious. So let's start with that. Let's get the 1 1/4 cup, I believe it was, of heavy cream. So we're gonna whip the cream by itself. Traditionally, when you make whipped cream, you would add sugar to it, but in this case, the sugar goes in with the cream cheese. So I'm just gonna be here whipping for a little while until it has a consistency like Cool Whip, which can take about 4 to 5 minutes. 4 to 5, not 45. Just in case you needed clarification. All right, so I've got my whipped cream whipped up beautifully. It's nice and fluffy. Now we are gonna work on the cream cheese. Let's start whipping the cream cheese now. It does say to use a stand mixer with a paddle attachment. Let's hope I don't regret this decision in a second here, but it's room temperature, it'll be fine. Just whip it up. It's struggling a little, that's okay. I feel like the beaters are gonna get it nice and smooth. Well, that's just fine. It's working great. You just wanna make sure it really gets all of it nice and smooth. Okay. All right. So now that the cream cheese is kind of whipped up and smoothened out, we are gonna add our lemon juice, our powdered or confectioner's sugar, our granulated sugar, and our sour cream. Now let's whip it some more. We want this whipped together till it's nice and smooth. I'm gonna start off slow just so I don't make a mess. But now I'm gonna speed it up. We wanna try to get all that granulated sugar to kind of dissolve, all that powdered sugar to disperse and not be clumpy. Stop real quick, and I'm gonna scrape my edges. If you've learned from any of my videos, that is You can learn that from any cooking or baking video, I should say. Always scrape down your edges while you're baking. You don't want any residual ingredients on the sides. You want a nice, evenly mixed mixture. And mix again. Oh, that's my timer for the cookies. 1 second. Here's our crust. The cookies have really raised, but I am familiar that it will settle a bit, so I'm trying not to panic. That's not a lot of space for filling, but that's okay. And then I just threw my extra cookies on a piece of greased tin foil, set them on the side, and let them bake. They're a little weird shaped, but that's okay, they're cute. Let's hope this settles down. We're gonna let this cool while we finish making the filling. Okay, so now that the cookies are out to cool, I'm gonna just keep whipping this up for just a little bit longer till it's nice and smooth and creamy. Here we are. Got a really luscious, silky, and creamy consistency. Absolutely luxurious. And it's holding its own really well. And then we have our whipped cream. So now we're gonna fold this into this to make it a light, fluffy, and airy mousse almost, you know? Oh, I forgot to add the vanilla. It was perfectly placed that I could not see it. Whoops. Hand mix this in, not a big deal. That would have tasted boring. I'm so glad I freaking saw that. Jeez, what's wrong with me? Okay, let's fold this in. All right, so what I've learned from my grandma Mary, is you start with just a little. So we'll do like 2 heaping scoops and fold. So you go down and around, over and over again. Sometimes you can do a chop, chop, chop motion, but you just keep flipping and flipping and flipping, and that's why it's called folding. So not flipping, folding and folding. So you start with a little bit so that it starts lightening up the mixture, I suppose. Scraping the sides while you're at it, and you're just doing a little bit of like a plop plop. Giving terrible instructions. You know what I mean? There's your demonstration. Where's my round of applause? All right, let's get the rest in here now. So that little bit starts to lighten it up, making the rest of it being folded in easier. At least that's my understanding of what she taught me. I don't know if she watches my videos. Grandma, if you're watching, I hope I'm doing you right, explaining this properly. Joop, joop, joop. Sweep, sweep, sweep. Joop, joop, joop. Fold, fold. What happens if we move the bowl around? Oh yeah, I'm seeing all the whipped cream I'm not getting. My arms are on fire. Let's see, so I went ahead and put my crust in the freezer so it will chill or cool a little faster. It has sunk, thank goodness, so it's not as fluffed up cookie as it was before. Let's give this a taste, see how it is. That's delightful. It tastes just like cheesecake. I would make this and even do it as like a dip. If you didn't feel like doing like a whole crust situation, make this maybe at a smaller portion, although it would all get eaten, I'm sure. Put it in a bowl, and you could do like caramel on top or fruit preserves on top, and then, or like strawberries or chocolate, and then around the bowl, like a charcuterie board or something, do like graham crackers, vanilla wafers, strawberries, what else could you dip in a cheesecake? Cookies, like you name it. And it could be like a little dip. That'd be good. Okay, so I'm just gonna wait for my crust to cool, and then we're gonna pour this into the crust and then leave it in the freezer for 2 hours. It said you could refrigerate for 3 hours or freezer for 2 hours. I ain't got that much time, so it's gonna go in the freezer. So yeah, I'll be right back. I have my crust ready to go. So this has been in the freezer chilling because I needed it to cool down a little bit faster. So let's just scoop the filling into our pan. Great. All right, this is almost to the rim. There's maybe like half an inch of space. So I'm gonna just spread it out to where it's nice and even. All right, that looks beautiful. I think it's as smooth as I can physically get it without tinkering away at it for hours and hours, which I'm sure is the quality content you want to see here on YouTube, but okay. We have our cheesecake ready to go. Now it just goes in the fridge or freezer for 3 hours in the fridge or 2 hours in the freezer. So let me get this in there, and time is going to magically fast forward for you, and you'll see me again in a second. All right, so we are back 3 hours later, almost. Yeah, actually 3 hours to the minute. So my cheesecake has been in the freezer for 2 hours. I pulled it out and gave it 30 minutes in the fridge so that if it did freeze a little bit, it could kind of simmer down. And now we are going to make the whipped topping. So we're gonna start with our, I believe this was 2 cups of heavy whipping cream, and then our sugar, granulated sugar. Then we're gonna add a teeny bit, I think it's supposed to be 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and give it a mix. Start off slow so you don't make a big mess, although this mixer seems to make kind of a mess no matter what, so pray for me. This will take about 3 to 4 minutes, hopefully. And you wanna make sure your cream is really cold, nice and chilled. All right, I made a big mess, but it's done. Delish, tastes great. I've made the executive decision that we are going to pipe the whipped cream onto the cheesecake, just like how the lady did in the video, because it just looked so cute. So we're gonna try it out. I'm gonna frost the top with 1 layer and then do little decorative so that there's still whipped cream on the whole thing, which I think will be complementing in flavor. But then also still have the pretty little blobs. You know, blobs. I have a little piping tip. This is like a the bazooka of a piper. Okay, so like you load it, and then you can just press this button with the thumb and it pipes out. So my grandfather got me this, and I've used it a zillion times, and I really enjoy it. All right, let's get the cheesecake out of the pan real quick. I have this little Tupperware. I'm gonna go like this, and I'm gonna bring the spring shield or the out part down. Well, that cookie really did. That is half cookie, half cheesecake. Okay. That's funny. Okay, let me set this on the plate. Hey, it came out of the pan. That's all I can ask for. So let's take the whipped topping. Let's put a good 3 scoops on there. Okay, maybe 4. Offset spatula, and I'm just gonna spread it out. Ooh, you know what? Get my cake decorating Lazy Susan. There we go. That way I can kind of spin it and spread it at the same time. I'm trying to keep the edges uncovered. I kind of like that you can see the cookie on the side. All right, let's see how even that looks. I think that looks pretty dang good. Yay! Okay, so now We're gonna get our whipped cream in our pipe, and I think I'm just gonna do a little swirly. Start from the center, or maybe out, and just do that. And I'm gonna go one across from each other. Good. And then one across from each other. Good. And then one across from each other. This is so that it's even. Good. Good. Oh, it looks so cute. Okay, now for the final touch. Da 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 da. I baked the extra cookies. They're cute little pumpkins, just like the crust. I'm just going to plop that on top. Maybe not on every single one. Maybe. Let's start with just 4. Facing inward. And leave the other ones open. I like that. I think that's cute. Yay! And then the extra cookies I'll just give to my coworkers, or you could put them on all of it if you feel like it. This turned out really cute. I'm so excited to show you a close-up. Let's do it. Here we are. So of course there is leftover whipped cream. So you could definitely frost the sides to make it look complete. But I think it looks kind of cute like that. I'm so proud of this. This looks so cute, so darling. I really hope the crust isn't too intense. Yay! Just saw my whole life flash before my eyes. Cheesecake! Yeah, 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 yeah. So it literally is like half cookies, half cheesecake, and then a layer of frosting. It is time to cut into this and taste it. I'm very excited. I'm gonna grab a piece that doesn't have a cookie on it because I kind of want to just like preserve its cuteness. I actually don't even want to cut into it at all because it's so cute, but I must. I'm just gonna cut one piece for right now. Come out, please. Oh, it did! It came out! Yay! Okay. Look at it. You can see the cookie, you can see the little pumpkin pattern, you can see the little green. It's set nicely. You can see the little flecks of vanilla. It looks great. Let's taste it. I'm so excited. Oh, and it broke off a piece perfect. I think it's set really well. Let's see. It's still very light and fluffy. Not exactly like a thick, dense, fantastic cheesecake, but it tastes super good. It's creamy, it's fluffy, it's sweet, it's vanillaed. That cookie crust has a great texture. And that looks like a big outside crust. It's just the edge. It does thin out at the bottom. So it just puffed up along the edge. So maybe don't crowd your pan as much as I did. I don't really know. But it tastes amazing. My coworkers are gonna love this, and this was really easy. I can't believe it. So good. Now, as someone who has lactose problems, I have to be very careful with this. But this turned out fantastic. This is good, this is easy, it's fun. You could do it with your kiddos. You can make it seasonal. It's a great idea. I love this. You could just get regular sugar cookies too. Doesn't have to be flavored of any kind. Shoot, I wonder if you could do chocolate chip cookies or double chocolate cookies. Ooh. Okay, well, thank you so much for watching. I had a blast making this. I liked how it was easy to turn pretty without being a lot of work. But thank you for watching. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Please watch all my videos. I post on Saturdays. I know I'm not as consistent lately. I work a very, very busy job, and I live at my job, and I live for my job, and I love that, but I don't always post every Saturday. I'm sorry. I'll try to be better about it. But please subscribe if you like this video. Leave it a like. Comment down below if you have any recommendations of recipes you'd like me to try. And I will see you very soon in my next video. Happy Halloween. Love you. Thank you. Goodbye.